Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, and let me see who was here first. Compton Cali Gal. Thank you so much for being here first. Hello to Helen Marmon, Fancy, Lydia Washington. Oh, is there a birthday? Happy birthday, Bon. Happy birthday and many happy returns of the day. You got your dancing shoes on? Well, then let's not delay. Let us not delay. Okay. Coming at you with a birthday salsa. Okay, hit it. Okay. Do you like that little delay I threw in there? Yeah, that was the first time I've done that. And it was everything I wanted it to be. Okay. Let's see. Okay, happy birthday. Happy birthday and happy birthday. All right. Oh, you got your coffee brewing? Nice. Very nice. Well, as per usual, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. And let me see if I can squeeze it in. All right. So, no distractions. I'm just going to focus and concentrate. Connie Baumer. Connie Baumer, I tried to do something to help your situation out, but let me see here. Um, I don't see your membership though. Hmm, that is so strange. I don't know how that happened. Um, I'll check it again, but yeah, I don't know what could have happened, but I will check it again tonight. Let's see. Sophie exposed, and of course, Harry speaks as ever, as ever. You know, I should have took those. I could have taken those things off their jackets, off of their blazers. I could have made those disappear. Ah, that's okay. Didn't think about it until just right now. With the new software from the what do you call it? It is so easy. They use like AI to um, remove stuff and yet kind of keep the right pattern and everything. It's incredible. It just kind of decides, okay, don't take away the collar, but take away the, and very effective. Very effective. Okay. So anyway, Harry did put a statement out today, and I'm going to share that with you very soon. Very soon. Okay. All right. Now let's see how that worked out. Okay, ready for it? Here goes. Wow. Wow. See there? The those what do you call those things? They're gone. Isn't that something? Modern technology. And it don't look like it's been touched up at all. My. Isn't that something? Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Scratch a lie, find a thief. All right, you going old school. Thank you, Joyce Yvette Davis. Yep, scratch a lie and find a thief. Holler loud and bring a crowd. I used to have a neighbor, Sammy. He used to say that all the time. This old man, Sammy. Holler loud and bring a crowd. He was like Nipsey Russell. He had something for everything. He had so many of those colorful colloquiums you don't know um, where they come from. Just when you think he's has said everything in his arsenal, he'll bring you another one. Now that's when you know somebody is from the deep south. Right, right. Harry. Wait, where is that at? Someone said Harry. There we go. Miss Z. See, sexy, half smile. Yes, indeed. Harry is always that guy. You know, there's like someone who could be like a model or or some kind of old Hollywood actor, and then there's what they call boyfriend cute rom com. Yeah, that rom com look, and he is definitely a character from a rom com come to life. Art imitates life. Okay, so Harry's statement. Let me throw this over here. All right. All right, that's a little more comfortable for me. So it says, what has transpired over the last week has been heartbreaking to witness, especially when such blatant lies hurt those who have invested decades in this shared goal. No one suffers more than the beneficiaries of Centabale itself. On behalf of the former trustees and patrons, we shall in the relief. I'm sorry, not shall. We share in the relief that the charity commissions confirmed they will be conducting a robust inquiry. You hear that, Sophie? A robust inquiry. We fully expect it will unveil the truth and collectively force us to the truth that collectively forced us to resign. Let me see. We remain hopeful this will allow for the charity to be put in the right hands immediately for the sake of the communities we serve. So, Harry is suited and booted. He's ready for this fight. I think he is not happy to have to do this because Harry knows how um, the scrutiny of the public can be very painful. Well, has been very painful and very dangerous to the women in his life. And whatever their differences, I'm sure Harry is not, excited to have to do this, but it must be done. It must be done. This is what Sophie asked for. Sophie was on television talking all that stuff, trying to win in the court of public opinion. So this is going to force her to show her hand. And this is going to give a governing body like the commission a chance to evaluate what's inside of the books. How has the money been spent? This is what Sophie asked for. This was Sophie's choice. Yeah, this was Sophie's choice. So there you have press release. Sentebale Commission opens compliance case to access concerns. I'm sorry, to blah, 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 to assess concerns raised about the charity. The regulators for charities in England and Wales has opened a regulatory compliance case to examine concerns raised about the charity Sentebale. Because remember, it is Sophie's choice. The Charity Commission is now in direct contact with parties who have raised concerns to gather evidence and assess the compliance of the charity and trustees, past and present, with their legal duties. Regulators focus in line with the statutory remit, that is, will be to determine whether the charity's current and former trustees, including its chair, have fulfilled their duties and responsibilities under charity law. Now remember, Sentebale is registered in the United Kingdom. They are registered in the United Kingdom. So even though they have traveled the world for funding, and primarily the money is spent in Botswana and Lesotho and all of that, it is registered in the UK. So when you have a problem, you go to the courts there, or in this case, the commission. The commission is not an adjudicator or mediator. It is guided by the principle of ensuring trustees fulfill their primary duty to their charitable purpose and beneficiaries. After a period of assessing the initial concerns raised with the commission, the regulator informed the charity on the 2nd of April, 2025, it has opened a regulatory compliance case. The regulator has not made any findings at this time. So that was April 2nd. That was April 2nd. This has nothing to do with what Sophie was saying she had went to. Well, you know what I mean. It's not from when she said that she uh, filed a complaint or whatever, and then no one can find the paperwork. This is as of what, 2 days ago. So still very fresh. Still very fresh. They just announced it. And because of Harry's history with Sentebale, because of Harry's history with philanthropy, I'm just not afraid for this. This does not give me pause when it comes to the future. I think this is just going to be one of those bumps in the road. It's going to come and go. And I think Sophie will be exposed for the person that she is. I can't help but think she was expecting support from Black women in the U.S. and women of African descent at large, wherever they are. And that whole thing about the what is it, the 540 members and volunteers or whatever for Centre Ballet and their families. From the very start, she was trying to finesse things so that it made her look as though she was strong, but yet she had become the um, victim of some kind of scheme to, um, I guess, usurp her authority, to, um, I guess, because, she's a woman. Um, I don't think she said because she was a black woman, but she did say misogynoir, which of course means that it's misogyny, in particular misogyny, instead of the typical misogyny. This is misogynoir because she being a black woman, that she was being singled out and mistreated for that reason. So, but let's see what happens. Then, of course, the newspapers. Harry charity probe. Harry is all lies. Um, it gave the tabloid media the type of headlines that they are so desperate to put out there so that they can sell papers and bring about um, the engagement that they want. Yeah. So for the time being, hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy here. Hey, Ivy. And of course, do you remember that voice? Do you remember that voice that she was using when she wanted to ask certain questions and expose things, where she was enunciating and using that kind of side eye? I hope that that serves you well once you are exposed for who you truly are. Um, in response to the UK Charity Commission's opening of a regulatory compliance case to examine concerns raised about Centre Ballet, please see statement from our chair of the board, Sophie, um, and our executive director, what is it, Carmel Gillard? Yeah. So whatever. And then on the right there, it's amazing to work with Prince Harry. Let us not forget she said that, because he is so authentically connected to the organization. He has a lot of energy. He has lots of ideas. He's excited about the innovative ways of doing things. And you can't ask for more. This glowing endorsement came after the alleged breakdown in their relationship. Now, I want to just take notice of something there. He's excited about innovative ways of doing things. I don't doubt that. But was there some coercion on her part to try to bring Harry on board with all of this unnecessary spending that she allegedly has done? Um, and of course, that whole thing about trying to um, create prosperity and wealth building. And did she mention uh, post Black Lives Matter and such? She said a lot. And hopefully, it's not the most important thing, but I would be curious to know if she was trying to coerce Harry or convince him in some kind of way to change the mission of Ballet to suit her needs rather than the remit that is the very beginning, the genesis of Ballet. So that's what I'm wondering. But I do believe that when they started asking her about these expenditures, that's when things began to take a downward spiral. I believe she says otherwise. She's going back 7 years to when Harry and Meghan left the UK, and Harry's personal problems that has impacted that charity, not you know, Scotty's little soldiers who adores Harry and never wants to be without him. Not Well Child. They haven't been impacted by Harry's personal life because they love him and never wants to be without him. And of course, there is the Invictus games, which has only grown in stature over the years. I would say Whistler, Vancouver was a very different type of Invictus because it was adaptive winter sport and it was almost experimental as far as the games are concerned. And so in the future, they may revisit the idea of having a winter game, but that may have been a one of. And I'm going to say the uh, the Hague and uh, to my estimation, the Hague and Dusseldorf. I would say between those two, I don't know which was bigger, but I'm going to say maybe Dusseldorf. I'm going to say Dusseldorf because of the impact that it had on the German veterans and their families, because it was needed more in Dusseldorf than probably any place else you could think of, considering the history of Germany, and because the veterans there were not really seen by the public. People didn't want to see or know about them, and all of that changed with Invictus. So um, it really gave the government a chance to look inward when it comes to the way they treated their veterans over the years. So um, I think that's the one that probably made me the most emotional. But okay, so let's continue. Did I just see official Lauren Brown? Is Lauren Brown here? Okay, I'm not looking at the thing so closely, but I just saw this. So why don't I put that up at the top? Okay, there we go. There you go. Official Lauren Brown. Lauren, who has been very closely connected to the um, very things that we're talking about right now. She has her own lifestyle channel, and you may be lucky enough to go into her videos and find some of the topics that involve the Sussexes or the lifestyle, which I rather enjoy. So there you go. Now take a look there. Friends plus trustee, friend plus trustee, colleague plus consultant. Remember, we talked about that the other day, where those, well, anyway, Feminagra, they're the ones who ran this photo recently, and they used those arrows to, remind you that yes, there is a connection. Now, mind you, this was the Royal Salute polo. You know what? I meant to mention that the other day. Um, Royal Salute polo. Sophie has been on this thing where she's trying to downplay um, the contribution of Harry and Princeso, right? Two royal princes, right? And then, of course, this whole thing about the stage was too crowded and the choreography and such. Um, and these are just the colleagues or friends that we know about. God only knows how many people were there for Sophie, with Sophie, because of Sophie, and even paid by Sophie with Sentabale's money, allegedly. But all of that is going to come out. All of that is going to come out. And you know what? Something else just came to mind. I mean, real time, I just thought about something. You know, the royal family was not too keen to have Meghan around because, let's face it, Meghan got a lot of sense and she know when something ain't right. Okay? Not to say that Harry and the rest of the board and everybody couldn't figure this out on their own. But you know what I'm trying to say, right? Is that when people are working a root, when people are not on the up and up, like the courtiers and the royal family, it seemed like it was just not good to have Meghan around. Having someone right and well educated and full of confidence, right? So maybe, just maybe, it was a bit uncomfortable having Meghan there because you just don't want anybody to ask certain questions, right? You've probably done that in your life where you met someone's friend or a colleague or a coworker, and you just kind of get that weird feeling inside. You know what I mean? So, yeah, yeah, I could imagine that. I could imagine maybe if introductions were made, certain scenarios would play out, and yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. What's that? Some women put out bad vibes. Sophie the snake. Yeah, that's all I'm saying is that sometimes you just know. Authenticity always show up those who are mediocre. Okay, I think we're on the same page. Yeah, I think we're on the same page. All right, that's what I was thinking. Maybe for the same reason that the courtiers and the some of those left behind royals just were uncomfortable with Meghan being around. I mean, after all, when they did the Sandringham summit, it's like everything was very um not today. No, we can't talk. Nope, we don't want to see you. And as soon as Meghan left the country, they started singing like Aretha Franklin, complaining about everything and giving them little or no option but to leave. So, yeah, that kind of vibe. Now, Charity Boss accused of playing the race card in Prince Harry row. Um, of course, I felt a bit of relief when I saw those headlines. Kind of sad, but I felt relieved because if indeed um, Sophie is playing some type of game, It's unfortunate for everyone involved, for the founders of the charity who created this charity and named it to honor their mothers. And even more important, the children, the families, the communities, the tens of thousands of people who have benefited from Sentebale. The very condescending way that Sophie opened up that interview with Trevor Phillips, Harry and Say So thought themselves well placed to answer the what does she call it? The urgent, no, the really urgent call to help because of HIV and AIDS. And then she went on to say that it's no longer a death sentence. And of course, she pointed out that that was back in 2006. I mean, all of the language was for the court of public opinion, hoping to overwhelm people with a lot of misinformation, a lot of her own opinion, so that if and when it ever goes to court, that she would be well placed to win the day. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to break those words down to see that it wasn't a chance to inform us about any shortcomings with the charity or Prince Harry or trustees and such. It was an opportunity to get ahead of it because eventually it's all going to be exposed. I don't suppose she was banking on, oh, maybe she was. Maybe she was. Maybe she is naive enough to believe that Harry's 20-year commitment, Prince Seso's 20-year commitment to that charity would somehow play second fiddle to these accusations that she has made, race card and all. Maybe that's what she thought. Maybe she did believe that that was possible. Feminagra, they produced an article, several articles, as a matter of fact. They have been on top of this. And of course, they brought up the 500,000 pounds, give or take. The 500,000 pounds. What happened to it? How was it spent? How did it benefit Sophie and her colleagues and her brother, allegedly? Just in case there's any lawyers named Sophie listening. So, in her March 2025 Sky News interview, Sophie Chanduka, Chinduka, I'm going to say Chinduka, accused Prince Harry of sabotaging Sentebale. Harry, the saboteur, claiming his toxic brand, again, not directly saying Harry, but his toxic brand drove donors away. That is ridiculous. I mean, on the surface, it's ridiculous. Disrupting events and even led to bullying at scale. But financial records, public statements, and rebuttals from former trustees reveal a pattern of misrepresentation, from exaggerated claims about donor flight to contradiction in her own past praise of Harry. Sophie's narrative unraveled under scrutiny. This investigation examines each allegation, exposing how the data, not the Duke, indicts her leadership. Allegations Harry's move to the U.S. caused loss of major donors. Sophie claimed that Sentebale experienced significant decline in corporate and individual donors after Prince Harry moved to the U.S., suggesting his departure caused reputational damage and made donors hesitant to remain involved with the charity. You know what? Harry's ability to fundraise is extraordinary. Um, when Harry received the Pat Tillman Award, it wasn't just because they thought Harry was such a nice guy. It was because of his humanitarian philanthropic history. It was because of that. Now, Harry doesn't have half the formal education of a Sophie, but what he has is emotional intelligence. He has the ability to connect to people. This is a man who has created or proposals, delivered proposals to captains of industry, and was able to receive the funding that he needed for Invictus to be successful. He had a vision, and his vision became a reality. We call it the Invictus Games. And let us not forget the conversation between Prince Harry and Prince Seeiso, which led to a very successful Sentebale. I think someone was hoping to hijack Harry's skills and ability. And maybe Harry just was not being as cooperative about something that was going in a direction that it's really not supposed to. It's supposed to be about the um, HIV and AIDS um, uh, people in the community, right? And their families, children who have been orphaned because of HIV and AIDS, fighting the stigma of getting tested. That's not over. But according to Sophie, it's no longer a death sentence. We need to start branching out to other things. And so the corporate donors, all of a sudden, they just could not see eye to eye with Harry anymore. They just could not share his vision. Nothing could be further from the truth. So, reality check, the data tells a different story. Financial data from Sentebale's annual reports reveal a more complex and contradictory picture. While the charity did experience a dip in revenue in 2020, falling to £2.39 million, that was not unique to Sentebale. The sharp decline coincides with a global pandemic which disrupted fundraising. Events and international donor pipelines for thousands of charities worldwide. However, Sentebale's income steadily rebounded in the years that followed. Sentebale's fundraising costs. Oh, do I have that chart here? Oh, let me put that up. I don't think I have that one. Do I? Let me see. Oh, no, I do not. That's okay. It won't take but a second. I want you to see this. I want you to see the sharp decline that took place when Dr. Chaos joined the party. Yeah, once Dr. Chaos joined the party, all hell broke loose. Okay, let me see here. Okay, there you go. That shows you what happened because of the pandemic, right? 2020. And then see how it's going up? Well, part of that is the $1.5 million that Harry donated from the sale of Spare, from the proceeds from Spare. So what is she talking about? He left in 2020, right? And then by 2021, you can see it was onward and upward. By 2022, it looks like it reached the peak. And then, of course, when Sophie came along as the chair in 2023, it plunged. So what happened? It was Sophie. That's what happened. It was Sophie. Now, I cannot say that the figures on the left side are accurate and authentic. I tried to source the origins of that page and I could not find it. However, you know what? I won't even say anything. I'll let you guys look at it. Okay. I'll just leave it up there. Um, Exclusive. Is this the real reason for Prince Harry's fallout with the boss of his beloved charity, Ballet? Insiders claim she was spending eye-watering sums on business consultants to break into America as charity watchdog launches investigation. Y'all know who wrote this article? And by the way, there's a paywall for the article. That little, oh gosh, what's his name? Roy Cameron Roy, that little asshole. He's the one who wrote it. The one that's always going back, looking back and going back to try to reimagine something that happened, usually involving the Duchess of Sussex. But yeah, that little fart. Oh, I cannot stand him. Um, he's the one who wrote that. And I tell you, if she thinks she got problems now, um, wait until he takes a hold of her. If he talks about her the way that he goes after Meghan, she gonna be crying like a rat eating onions. Yep, she's gonna be crying like a rat eating onions. The highest bill on consultants was the £185,000, which, and this is in the article, which was paid to Lebec, a woman-led strategy firm founded by Alex Lebec, a former asset manager who has held leadership roles at the World Bank and Water.org. Lebec hosted events with both Harry and Chanduka on the same panel in April 2024, where they highlighted Ballet's impactful work. A spokeswoman for Ballet told the Mail Online that the charity board was aware of and approved the contact with Lebec. So there you can see right there, at least we know that according to the Daily Mail, is a thing. Okay, what else we got? We got I see they have it in dollars and in pounds. So they got $5,255 for media consultant. And who is Don White? Who is this Don White person? I tell you, somebody's been in the cookie jar. And Ian Rawlinson, he got paid too. 24,000 pounds and 66,000 pounds. Wait, wait, paid that and then is old. Oh, okay. How does that work out? I'll be curious to see what the I mean, they do have it highlighted for a reason. Okay. Wow. I tell you, Sophie doesn't do anything by half, does she? And then that same article, it says the claims against Sophie, the charity's financial situation became unstable when funds fell below the self imposed 600,000 pound safety threshold under her leadership. Okay. And see, when she was on Sky News, it was like she was trying to make a case. She was building a case for herself to have spent X amount of money. And when Trevor Phillips brought it up, she said, well, that's just not true. And nothing else, nothing else. She had all of these details when it came to these exchanges between the trustees and Harry and such. But when you ask her about the money she spent, that's just not true. You got to be kidding me. Okay, next, there has been a breakdown in a long-standing relationship with a key funder tied to the annual Polo Cup. She lost the trust and confidence of the board after spending money on consultants. Baroness Chalker of Wallasey, a former trustee, said the chairwoman was almost dictatorial in the role. Next, the board started acting to replace her in December after losing trust. Next, allegedly manipulating the minutes of board meetings and bullying staff. Kind of reminds you of Kensington Palace. This is why everybody seemed to be of the opinion that she was being coached, allegedly, by Kensington Palace. Because before they could declare William the bully, which may or may not have happened, but eventually it did happen because what happened? 3 days, was it 3 days before the Oprah interview? I don't need to tell you. You already know what happened. They declared Meghan was a bully, an angry Black woman. So here you have a situation where she comes out first and she made it sound like everybody on the board was afraid of Harry. Well, we couldn't have these conversations if Harry is around. Someone confided in her. Really? Harry's going to come and do what? And let's see. Lastly, she failed to pivot fundraising to America as she said she would to the board. I wonder how that happened. She failed to pivot the fundraising to America as she told the board that she would. And then that whole thing about the polo. Now, sadly, okay, one of the squatties on Twitter shares certain clips that she think is important. And one of the ones I saw was big big arm Becky, big arm Becky, um, who I think successfully crossed her legs today. Um, big arm Becky, Maureen Eden, and that other one, that the one that moderates the thing. They pretend to know everything and that none of the information I just shared with you, that does not exist in their scenario. And I understand they have their followers and they want to make sure they feed them so that they can keep their podcast going. But it deliberately omitted so many things about Sophie that hopefully will come out soon. So I tell you, even though I don't like this person that wrote this article, I'm so glad that he did. I'm so glad that finally they're looking at an alternative to everything she said on the Sky News. But unfortunately, for every one article like this that puts the spotlight on Sophie, what is there, 100 other articles that seem to blame Harry in some kind of way? So I don't know how helpful it is in the long run, but I'm glad to see it. I'll take what I can get. But I tell you what, though, one thing that I said from the very beginning, and it rang out true, was that um, she poked the bear. And I ain't talking about Harry. I'm talking about the women in the Sussex squad. And some of them are not squatties, but perhaps they are Sussex squad adjacent. Maybe they're just big fans of Meghan. And, she invoked Meghan's name, and that was not wise, dragging Meghan into it, especially after everything that Meghan has been through. There are a lot of people like myself that are very sensitive about bringing Meghan's name into it. And I'll just put it to you like this: she should have stuck to Harry. Should have left Meghan out of it. Um, I don't think that she was going to get away with the accusations against Harry, but she really stepped into it when she brought Meghan's name into it. That was that was a bad choice. That was not wise. Or as Julia Roberts would say in Pretty Woman, big mistake, big, big, big mistake. That's what you call overplaying your hand. But she was desperate. I don't think she had really any place else to go at that point. So it was all in or nothing. It was all in or nothing. Big back Becky. Yeah, and the ease in which um that little vicious bowl of jello, Rebecca English, the ease in which she will put misinformation out there. She will give an alternative, true or not. She makes up stuff. It is breathtaking. Even though she looks and seems very wise and intelligent and well placed for this work, it's not as a journalist that is her strong suit. It is the mouthpiece for the royal family, and especially Will and Kate. Every day she wakes up determined to try to make them appear to be something that they simply are not. And if we have to bend the truth to do it, so be it. And Richard Eaton, he's just a plain liar. He's just a plain liar. He also makes up stuff. They all do. They all do. So take a look at this one. This is also from Feminagra. Um, remember the words of Sophie. It is no longer a death sentence. However, HIV/AIDS remains the leading cause of death in Lesotho. You see that? It is still the leading cause of death. You look at the top 10 causes of death. You have HIV/AIDS, stroke, influenza and pneumonia, coronary heart disease, diabetes, diarrhea, suicide, lung disease, hypertension, and kidney disease. Right? You take all of those, and still it's HIV/AIDS. So, is she well placed for this work? Does that mean that she's not well placed for this work? And the source is the World Life Expectancy. They do these surveys. It didn't come from Feminagra. That just goes to show you how wicked she is. Because she sat there with all of her education and just ignored the fact that HIV/AIDS is still the leading cause of death in Lesotho. The $600,000 that were spent on consultants could have been spent in the community. They need orphanages for children that have been orphaned. Perhaps their parents can no longer care for them. There's a lot of reasons and a lot of causes in that community where that money could have been spent. And right now, given the headlines of the day with these tariffs and such, you know, there is someone who could turn to America and ask for some funding. I just don't think she'll be that person. I don't think she should be that person. She's good at spending money, but she's not very good at raising money. She's good at uh, elaborating about her CV or her resume, but bringing the money in, not so much. I mean, you look at this, this is heartbreaking. These are cold, hard facts. She and think about this. Think about this whole thing with the tariffs. Rather than sticking with the status quo, rather than taking a strong economy that Joe Biden maintained, a strong economy that Joe Biden maintained, um, the occupant of the White House is throwing the dice. He's throwing the dice with people's pensions. They said as soon as tomorrow, food may cost more. As soon as tomorrow. The bad thing about it is, even if there is no cause to raise prices, Most merchants will do it just because they have a legitimate excuse. Meaning that if Monday they say, okay, no more tariffs, whatever those prices elevate from now until Monday, they ain't coming back down. They ain't coming back down. That's a gamble. Where our livelihoods, our lives and our livelihoods have been gambled by the President of the United States. And on a much smaller scale, same thing is happening here. You're spending $600,000 to speculate. It's to speculate, hoping that I can bring in some more money instead of just, being very conservative and cautious with the spending. Just like the big lie that was told on television, it's all in or nothing. It's all in or nothing. So these tariffs is all in or nothing. Because I don't think anybody can say, oh, in the long run, this is a disaster. We don't know that. But I'd rather someone not gamble with my future. And the same here. Spending that $600,000 could have possibly brought in a lot of money, but it didn't. It did not. Plus size versus barren, HIV and AIDS will continue to be a problem in Southern Africa. Cause your women are left to feed for themselves, and younger women are forced to marry old men. Yeah, and then of course it really makes me sick on the stomach. But in some communities, there's this belief that if you are positive, that there's some kind of way that you can eliminate that based on superstition and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to get into the details of that because it's just too painful to talk about. But remember, part of Ballet's mission is to end the stigma, to educate people, to keep the community educated, and educating the children starting at a young age, giving them the knowledge to avoid becoming positive in the first place. All of those things is the mission of Ballet. I feel like Sophie is trying to turn it into one of those uh, prosperity congregations. Those churches where all they preach about is prosperity, and the everybody is gonna be rich and all that kind of stuff. That's what I feel like. I feel like it's like some kind of prosperity minister. So, I'm gonna go to another topic. I'll take a look at a couple of your comments before we move on. You know, oh, if only, if only. It does have all the hallmarks. It does have all the hallmarks. It smells of Kensington Palace. Yeah, she threatened them. She threatened them. She said she would take the next course of action, which seemed to be a veiled threat that she was going to. And see, because she's a lawyer, because she knows the law, she was willing to use legal efforts, procedures against a charity. What is it about Sentebale that you want in so bad? Why are you so desperate to be a part of Sentebale? You know, Amazing Grace, I waited 24 hours. A lot of people waited a day and just didn't say anything, kind of like Jesse Smollett or Juicy Smollett. And once she gave that interview that was supposed to help her, it exposed that there were so many holes in her story. It seemed like everything was a rush to yell the loudest, to come running from the scene of the crime, if there was a crime, um, waving your hands and shouting, "Hey, hey!" so that she can tell everyone how the thing started. And therefore, by the time you get to the real victims, if they were to tell their side of the story, you almost wouldn't believe them because after all, is a doctor. She's a doctor, sorta. She was brave enough to stand up to him. And wasn't she there for 6 years in the past? You were there for 6 years in the past. And it's weird that I'm comparing her to Donald Trump, and I'm really not, but I'm just using this to explain something. All of the problems with the government that Donald Trump says is happening right now. There's too many employees. There's this, there's that, there's blah, 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 too much waste. Wasn't that happening 8 years ago? Didn't you have an opportunity to do this 8 years ago? Why all of a sudden change? And I feel the same thing is applicable here. You were a trustee before you were a chair. You were trustee, you went away, you came back the chairperson, and then when you became the chairperson, oh, there's something wrong with Harry. The board has been around too long. In a post Black Lives Matter world, HIV/AIDS is no longer a death sentence. All of a sudden, she's singing from a different handbook. And I'm thinking to myself, where in the world did that handbook come from? This hymn book, this hymn book, should I say, where did it come from? Kensington Palace. It sounds like Kensington Palace. Between every page, there's Kensington Palace. She even has one of William's um, friends and colleagues from the other charity or organization, whatever it was, the Tusk, whatever. I'm telling you, Kensington Palace. Kensington Palace. Now, let's get on with this then. Now, I don't know who Jamie is. If you guys know, go ahead and tell me. Thank you, Megan. The world just got more joy, and congratulations on selling out everything in the first hour. So there's one recipient of the gift box. Let's see. Oh, by the way, if you go onto the site, you can get notified. That's what I did several times. The raspberry spread in keepsake packaging. Um, that is available when it becomes available. But what I'm saying is the get notification thing is available. So you can go there and click on that, and hopefully you can leave your email and get notified when they're able to ship out some more, right? So um that is an option if you were unsuccessful. I don't think it would hurt anything just to um make sure that you are counted and recognized as someone waiting for the product. And let's see here. I don't know what I had to say about this. Oh well. And then right there, oh, I have a little short video for you. Let me grab the video where Megan is in the kitchen cooking again. You can find this video on the Instagram. Now you can hear that there's some that's Ella Fitzgerald. And then also I heard Aretha Franklin in the background. One of Aretha Franklin's old songs from when she was with Columbia Records. You gotta accent Accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and hang on to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. Ow. Yeah, that song was playing. So I love Megan's taste in music. I love her taste in music. A lot of those old songs, um, she tends to play that around the house, I suppose. And nice, good vibe to have while you're cooking. Oh, and also you can see how they packaged the those edible flower sprinkles. See how they're packaged there? Nice. Nice. Can't wait to get some. And of course, those eggs are from Archie's Chicken. You can tell because of the different colors, light to dark brown and white eggs. If you're not from the US, I should tell you that most supermarket eggs are white. Um, Sometimes if you can find brown eggs, but they usually sell them separate from the white eggs. And we must refrigerate our eggs in the US because they during the processing they are washed. And and this is what I was told, that in most countries they do not refrigerate eggs because the eggs have a natural coating that protects them from bacteria. And well, in the US, how we're kind of weird about hygiene and stuff, they vigorously wash the eggs and then they package them. So if you're in the US, is opposite of most of the world. The eggs definitely go in the refrigerator. Um, Also, the other opposite that I could think of is milk. We always refrigerate our milk. Now, lately, a lot of Americans, especially from the Dollar Tree, the dollar store, have been buying the milk off the shelf But there is a huge infrastructure in the US that maintains refrigerated eggs and refrigerated milk and even cheese um, that doesn't need to be refrigerated. It gets refrigerated too. We're obsessed about refrigeration. So um, we're very obsessive about weird stuff like that. Uh, oh, you heard that before too, huh? Very good. By the way, you guys, I bought all of the ingredients I need for the single pot spaghetti. But the one thing that I am missing is the Swiss chard. Trader Joe's didn't have it. So I don't know if I want to wait to get the Swiss chard or should I just use the Parmesan because the recipe asks for Swiss chard when you're grilling everything. And then when you have plated the, you know, or you're about to plate it, then it calls for the Parmesan. So I don't know if there's a big difference between the two. But I know Parmesan is very hard. I mean, you could knock somebody lights out with a good stiff slice of Parmesan cheese or block of Parmesan cheese. Okay, let's get back at it. So right there in that um, awkwardly small print that I am pulling so much closer to me. Hey, Big Mama. Big Mama says, my kids refrigerate ketchup and mustard. Okay, mustard, you don't have to refrigerate. Ketchup, you should. Soy sauce, you should refrigerate. Honey, I don't think you have to. And maple syrup. I found out maple syrup is supposed to be refrigerated. Now, if you're going to use those items sooner rather than later, I say don't worry about it. Um, but yeah, anytime you buy something, you just look on the label. A lot of times it says once you open it, refrigerate after opening. Refrigerate after opening. So I always look for that. So ketchup, yes. Mustard, no. Let me see. Oh yeah. Well, you know what, guys? Whenever I can, when I talk about certain things, you may notice that I try to explain the differences for people that don't live in the US because I know it's quite a few things that we do a little different from most of the world. Like for instance, we have yet to embrace the metric system. Um, we're still using what the imperial measurements or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of things like that that are not the biggest deal in the world, but sometimes you see something on television and you're wondering, I wonder why they did that. So I try to be helpful. Now I refrigerate bread, and they say that you're not supposed to, but I do. But almost always when I'm eating bread, I toast it first or heat it first or grill it first. So I have I have I'd be embarrassed to tell you how long I'll have certain things in the refrigerator. And my dear lamented aunt that passed away, I used to tell her, I say, "You have a black belt in freezing. my aunt would create a little gasket. Now, listen, let's say you got some beef stew, right? When you put it in the bowl to freeze it, right? You want to freeze your leftovers. You need plastic wrap inside of that bowl. You want to create like a gasket from the plastic wrap. You push down onto the food, whatever food there is, because you want to block the air from touching the food. She was brilliant when it came to that. So you push down and push all the air. Now, there's going to be a very small gap because you're not going to fill the bowl all the way up to the top, right? Now, you could very well just put another piece of plastic film across. But that initial plastic wrap, saran wrap, whatever you want to call it, you put that on top of the food. If there's a sauce, make sure it's touching that sauce. You don't want air, that little minute opening of you don't want the air to circulate across it because it'll ruin it. But yeah, my aunt, she could freeze anything. She was so good at that. I freeze bread to keep it fresh. My Papa never froze condiments. Yeah, I've never frozen any of those things, but I just saw this guy on YouTube, I think it was, and I tried this for the first time yesterday. When you're about to eat your, say, French bread, right? It's not fresh, so it's not crispy on the outside anymore. You wash it, not wash it, but you run water. You go to the tap and you cover it with water, right? You don't want it pooling on the bread, but you just run it under the tap and then put it in the oven and heat it in a preheated oven. And the bread comes out nice and crispy on the outside. And oh, on the inside is all, the way French bread is supposed to be, or any baguette. JK says pandemic Sophie came along, sunk Ballet's abilities to fundraise. That snake. Thank you so much, JK, for the super sticker. But that appears to be the size of it. That appears to be the size of it. Okay, so we're getting off track, and I did not want to be on more than an hour tonight. So let's get with it. Meghan says, I did a spin on my grandma's banana pudding recipe, making homemade vanilla pudding, layering in fresh chantilly cream. Never heard of that before. I've heard of chantilly lace, but chantilly cream? Interesting. Anyway, let me see. Layering in chantilly cream. Where did I leave off? What is okay? Make you think of that old Big Bopper song with strawberries soaked in fresh lemon juice and a touch of sugar. Of course, slices of banana and vanilla wafer layer in for this sweet treat we named after Lily. Now, see, before, I don't remember them mentioning the vanilla wafer. So, Chantilly Lily, which is a dessert named after Princess Lilibet Diana, created by the Duchess of Sussex, Chantilly Lily. Chantilly Lily. Let me see. Top tip. If you're in a pinch, just use a box of old school vanilla pudding mix. Or if you can't make the homemade chantilly cream, add vanilla extract and a touch of sugar into frozen whipped cream topping. Let me see. You know, the one that is small. Whatever you have time for, it will be delicious to make the cookies into crumbles. Oh, so she crumbles the cookies, place them in a zodiac, not a zodiac, in a Ziploc bag and use a rolling pin to break them up. Easy to do and adds great texture and finish. Mm, I'm going to the eye doctor. Okay, that's where I'm going. I'm going to the eye doctor. I think I'm overdue anyway. All right, so that's what she suggests. Did I show you the video yet? Yeah, I did. I did. Nope, not that one. This one. There you go. Now, you see, the logical reason to use a rented kitchen is Megan's kitchen is not bright enough. It's a beautiful Tuscan style kitchen, but with a big island and everything, I just don't think it's the layout is good for television. That big open white kitchen that she had was perfect. This kitchen is perfect for a dream house, of course, but to do a television, show to have a crew and everything, I just think the other kitchen made sense. I mean, plus inviting strangers into your home where you and your children, yeah, I don't think that that's right either. We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Well, that's one way to cool things down. We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. All right, let's get on with it. God, I can't believe it's after 2 a.m. Central Time. Oh, I gotta put that back up. There we go. So, I did a spin on grandma's Yes We Know. And oh, take a look at that. So, if you go to the um, Instagram and then you go to my shop or shop my, where all of the products and such associated with Megan is itemized, please do that. If you're going to buy any of these products, for instance, if you want that Dutch oven, make sure you go to Instagram and go to Megan's shop my so that Megan will get the credit for it and not some interloper. Make sure you do that because we want Megan to get the credit for it. So it seems like every day she's adding something new. So please do check it out. Instagram. Go to Megan Instagram. And also, if you're on Instagram, go ahead and check as ever on Instagram so you can see the things that are available or information that's being shared on both. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's very important. Make sure you go to Megan's page if you see something you like instead of like searching it directly or getting it from what she wore type of magazine article. Go to Megan's page or Instagram. Now, is it Amin? Is that the name? Anine, I think is Anine Bing. Well, whoever that is, that's their box. And they quickly went and made some of those crepes. And then there's Jesse. Is it Jesse DeLow? Let me see. Is that right? That doesn't sound right. By the way, please make sure you hit the like button. Now more than ever, since the president of the United States seems to be trying to drive the economy into the ground, please make sure you hit the like button because it helps with the algorithm and, you know, it goes a long way to help the channel. So please, please hit that like button now more than ever before. So let me see. The name is Jesse DeLow. Is that how you say that name? Jesse DeLow? I guess it is. Jesse DeLow. Yeah, that's the name, Jesse DeLow. And Jesse DeLow is, what does she do? She's a mother, a wife, manifestation advisor. Okay. I see her on the cover of Santa Barbara magazine. I've never heard of her before, but it must be a neighbor or something. Looks like she's got 2 kids, a beautiful home. Oh my God, there is the box. She's zooming in on the box. As ever, you guys, I want that box so bad. I want that box so bad. Oh, you have no idea how bad I want that box. I would be willing to push Church Nelly into traffic to get that box, even though I probably would have done that anyway. But I would, I probably would have anyway. But I'd be willing to push Church Nelly into traffic to get that box. If there were bison running toward us, I would sacrifice Church Nelly to get that box. Oh, you get rid of Church Nelly too? Or you just want the box? Hey, Sherry, where? I love that box. Let's see here. This is Zoe Zaldana. Well, you know, the actress Zaldana. Zoe got a box too today. I wonder how many of these boxes were given out. Mm. You know that you guys are not in a minority at all. I think the majority of squatties are still like, you know, it is a bitter, bitter pill to swallow. A bitter, bitter pill to swallow. Oh yeah, Oprah's got one. And check this out. Um, Stacy Robbins, yeah, Miss Stacy's Robbins, she received the box, and I guess that's her daughter there. Looks just like her. Oh, Maggie Ward, it's okay. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I didn't see what you wrote, but um, I have been knowing people for years that think my name is Brian. I have been knowing people for years that thinks my name is Brandon. I have been knowing people for years that thinks my name is Darren. So I am more than used to those types of things. And autocorrect does not help either. Yeah, autocorrect is also a problem. So um I've seen it all. Let's see. Christine Rowe just became a member. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Now that is going to help a whole lot. Thank you so much. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And look at the nice background image I used for this one. I noticed they had those flowers on the table. This is Victoria Jackson. I don't know who she is either. Official Victoria Jackson is the account. Let me see. Mother, founder, philanthropist, researcher, entrepreneur, and author. Oh, she's one of the people that owns that bookstore. Remember the bookstore in Montecito? She's one of the co-owners of the bookstore, the Godmother bookstore. Does she have makeup? Oh, I think she has makeup too. Oh, she sells her makeup on QVC. Okay, she is an entrepreneur. 20 years after a 10-year run on QVC, makeup artist, entrepreneur Victoria Jackson returns with the original number makeup, makeup, the original number makeup this January. Okay. I never heard of her before. All right. Victoria Jackson. Wow. Okay. I learned something new today. Inc. Magazine's Female 500 Founder Honoree 2025. Oh, she just won an honor as the female 500 founder. Now, see the kind of people Meghan has been networking with? See the kind of people that Meghan has been networking with. Which reminds me, guys, okay, let's talk about this E-Homes. E-Homes, um, some people have referred to her as a stalker, a troll, and a few other things. Um, she's a reporter. And as I said yesterday, I do hope that the shadiness of the past has been acknowledged. I hope she has apologized. I hope that she is sincere about her fawning all over Meghan and making a big fuss about Meghan. I hope that she's not, playing a role or in character or something. Harry and Meghan, they're in California. They're creating generational wealth. They're working. They're doing what they need to do to benefit their family, to benefit their children and their future happiness. So, while we don't necessarily want to forgive and forget, we do want to keep an eye out for nonsense, but we just have to make the adjustment, folks. We have to make the adjustment. Oh, she was at the Marjan. Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Sherry Ware's like I said, I don't trust her. Ah, okay. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. It would make a nice gift for someone's birthday. I'm going to try and get one for my daughter for her birthday. My daughter's name is Natasha. Nice. Natasha, always a pretty name. You know what else that box is good for? That box is good for those days when you wonder, what is it all about? Is there any point? Is there any meaning to life? And then you go and find that box and open it up and just take everything out and put it on the table and look at it and look at the little gift card that comes with it and everything. And then you put it back in the box and you go to bed happy and secure, knowing that, hey, I got one of them boxes. I'm okay. I got one of the as ever boxes, and life is going to be just fine. Yeah, that's why I need that box. Now, is there a difference between Elizabeth H. and E. Holmes? I mean, aren't they the same person or no? Hey, Legs. Okay, King Charles' friends attack Meghan Sussex for launching as ever. The latest woman to attack Meghan Sussex for working is Lady Carol Bramford, a close friend of King Charles. In a new Daily Mail piece by Richard Eaton, Bamford slams Meghan Sussex's lifestyle brand as ever, calling it crazy and inauthentic. The timing, the tone, the platform of the attack are familiar. Once again, the royal family remains silent while their well connected friends speak loudly. This gossip is a pattern from the royal playbook. Yeah, a lot of times these people, they have lunch with Camilla. They're at some event with Camilla, and next thing you know, they are spewing out the nastiest bile from their little funky mouth. It's probably more about keeping your enemies near. E. Holmes, EH, was truly vile during Meghan's pregnancy, on top of the truly vile treatment and behavior by the cult and pals. Yeah, yeah, it is worth pointing that out. And to be honest with you, she just looks sinister. She just looks sinister to me. Every time I see her, I mean, anybody, what kind of twisted individual would dress up like Queen Elizabeth and for what? And then photograph it and put it online. Who does that? What kind of weirdo does that? Literally photographs herself dressed up like Queen Elizabeth. And I cannot tell you how many times Meghan has worn something, and very soon she pops up wearing it too. I mean, I get that there's a lot of people that like that connection. They like the quality items that Meghan has selected for herself. And, there's nothing wrong with that. But this person is just like so much extra compared to the average person that you'll encounter. She's very extra. So I will admit it doesn't look good. I am willing to, you know, do some, I guess, some deep soul searching if it'll benefit the Sussexes, right? And as the very wise Ivy pointed out, it's a matter of keeping your friends close and keeping your enemies closer. The whole point of the Palace of Versailles was to keep an eye on your enemies. Now, I would say that in a perfect world, and I know that I'm just really I have no way to know whether this has happened or not. But in a perfect world, I would like to believe that that person has apologized to Meghan. I hope so. And I hope that truly they're not as awful as they used to be. The most vulnerable time for any woman is during pregnancy. That is a very vulnerable time. Mentally, physically vulnerable. So you cannot make excuses, but I do hope that she has made amends and that she has apologized for being such a, you know what. I hope so. Because it's triggering. That type of behavior is triggering. Because especially for anyone, I would imagine, I would have to imagine, I'm just guessing that if you've if you've given birth, if you've been pregnant, you've given birth, and you experience all of the postpartum and such, just learning about someone mistreating, especially one woman mistreating another woman, has got to be triggering. That has got to be very triggering. So I can understand why, a lot of people are just like, you know what? Uh, never. And I wish she would stay away from her. So I get that. It's jarring to wake up and look at social media and you see someone who's been so awful in the past posting pictures and following Meghan all over social media. And I think she went to Canada that time. So, yeah, there's some very valid reasons to be skeptical. Very, very valid reasons. Because there's one that I got it in for, and I would risk I would risk getting in trouble over one particular thing that I saw. I would risk getting in trouble. I would risk having the authorities coming to talk to me and asking me some questions. I would risk that. So I understand. Trust me, I understand. We all have our limitations, right? We all have our limitations. Yeah, but there's like one picture whenever I see it. Whenever I see that picture, I get so triggered of this other individual. I get so triggered when I see that stupid smile on their face and all that kind of stuff, thinking that they're so clever. Everything inside of me say, you know what? Risk a little jail time today. Today might be that day where I risk a little jail time. So I understand. We're all human. We all get triggered. Let me see here. Was I through with this? Let me see. I don't know if I was or I wasn't. Am I? Let me see. Where was that at? Oh, I guess I am. Whenever someone needs to say something controversial about Meghan Sussex, they say, it's rarely direct royal quotes. Instead, it's always a friend or a source close to the family. Lady Bamford fits the mold perfectly. She and King Charles move in the same elite circles. Her word mirrors palace whispers. It allows the royal family to stay publicly silent while private allies take the heat and do the dirty work. Lady Bamford calling Meghan inauthentic is rich. Bamford owns, what's that, Dalesford Organic, a luxury farm and cafe in the Cotswolds, and isn't your average country store. It charges £950 for a basket made of twigs, 3,000, and once sold 6 chips for £4. She and her billionaire husband have made headlines for these absurd prices and for allegedly dodging up to £500, £500 million in taxes. Her pub even lost its Michelin star. Yet this is a woman who feels bold enough to question Meghan's authenticity. Ooh, Feminagra. I love Feminagra. They just, you know what I'm saying? Feminagra is not having it. Oh, yeah. I guess that, let me see later. Funeral of Camilla's brother, showing her long standing ties to the royal family. Huh. See there? She's in the thick of it. She's in the thick of it. And it also goes on, the article says Richard Eden, the journalist behind the latest attack, has a long history of siding with the palace. He was once mocked for accepting dog biscuits from Princess Catherine's brother. His articles often read more like PR memos than journalism. When Eden quotes royal friends, he is usually to bash Meghan. Meanwhile, real scandals like unpaid Earthshot Prize winners or Andrews lawsuits get far less attention from him. Royal historian Clive Irving has called out King Charles directly. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Irving said Charles was the first royal to turn his title into a brand. His Duchy grocery line made millions, and yet he reportedly disapproves of Harry and Meghan using Sussex Royal, not to sell groceries, but to support charity work. Irving called it an atrocious and act of hypocrisy, and he's right. It says here, if you take the case of Meghan and Harry, it's been atrocious act of hypocrisy on Charles' part to take the view that it wasn't right for them to use a brand, Sussex Royal, to monetize the royal name because Charles was the first person ever to do that in a serious way with the Duchy brand of grocery products. Now that's a quote from Clive Irving. The truth is Charles and his friends have made big money from lifestyle ventures. They sell jam, cheese, books, overpriced furniture. That's somehow fine. But when Meghan Sussex launches a women led brand aimed at community, self care, and wellness, it's painted a fake or greedy. Why? Because Meghan isn't part of the inner club and because she refuses to stay silent. She refuses to stay silent. The company you keep says it all. If King Charles stays silent while his friends insult Meghan, that silence says everything. These attacks aren't random, they're strategic, media backed, and protected by royal proximity. Meanwhile, Meghan Sussex continues to work, create, and inspire without hiding behind titles or PR spin. Hello. Critics call her brand inauthentic, yet Charles's Apple playlist, despite no public matrix proving its success, once again, Meghan is judged by noise while the king is celebrated without evidence. That double standard reveals more about them than it ever could about her. And again, that is Feminegra. I tell you, when Feminegra um, starts pouring tea, okay? When Feminegra starts pouring tea, the tea is served. The tea is served. Yes. And look at old sausage fingers. This is from years ago when I think it was 2015, was it? Was it no, I think it was I don't know. But anyway, that was when he introduced his no, I think it was longer than that. I mean, because look, he looks so much different from how he looks now. But yeah, yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. With his yellow teeth. Bad built, bleach blonde, Botox, big forehead, Bamford. Yes, it is the height of hypocrisy. It really is. They got their nerves. Too expensive, unpopular, out of touch with modern Britain. And that's just Prince Charles's biscuits. Now, Muriel, one of the squaddies, Muriel, she always manages to find these old articles, whatever the topic, she can dig them out. And this is one that Muriel has found. But yeah, as you can see, Charles has been called out in the past. This article is from 2009. 2009. And at that time, Charles was wheeling and dealing to get his products in Waitrose. How about that? So whenever you see Meghan's products in the supermarket, I don't want to hear SHIT, okay? I bet not hear SHIT when Meghan's products goes into the supermarket. I'm not having it. Oh, check it out. Rio de Janeiro to host the 2025 Earthshot Prize. Yeah, they're going to Rio de Janeiro. Williams says 2025 marks the midway point of the Earthshot decade, and each year we've witnessed the remarkable power of human ingenuity in addressing our planet's most pressing challenges. You see there, even when there is famine and war, he says that Earthshot Prize is one of the planet's most pressing, even though there is massive homelessness, that Earthshot Prize is the most pressing thing there is. I wonder how many nurses could you hire for the NHS with that Earthshot Prize? What is Ivy cutting up? You didn't know that? Yes, Ivy can cut up when she want to. Let me see. Woo! See there? Yes, Ivy has a very sly wit. Let me see. Why Prince William has hired Diana's divorce lawyer. Richard Eden reveals shock move that talk of the palace. I don't know. Why did William hire Princess Diana's divorce lawyer? I'm sure they got some excuse. I don't think they said exactly what it was, but essentially, he doesn't want to have to deal with his father's lawyers. Also, if his father takes a turn for the worse, William wants to make sure that he has a loyal staff in place. So when he starts plotting and conspiring against his father, he'll do it with, you know, his mother's lawyer. Um, yeah, William, I would hate to be the sovereign on the throne with somebody like William waiting patiently and sometimes impatiently for me to go to my glory. That's probably one of the riskiest places to be in this world is between William and that throne. So all I can say is good luck, Charlie. You're gonna need it. Whatever extracurricular activities that William maintains from one day to the next. Whoever he spends time with, if you know what I mean. Um, I'm pretty sure by the time he becomes king that he probably has a Michael Forsyte of his own somewhere, some bearded individual that he is going to elevate in status, maybe even give them a dukedom. That hasn't been done in a long time, but if it does happen anytime soon, it'll probably be William. Isn't that how they used to do it in the old days? Whoever the king fancies, they become a duke. They end up gifted land and titles and such. I mean, it worked for Jason Knopf, didn't it? He stuck around long enough to get a title. Now, oh, not Gummy admitting that she grifts off Meghan. As you can see here, um, Gummy, the one who's waiting for her raspberry spread so that she can smear it all over her gums. She said the quiet parts out loud. She said the quiet parts out loud. Girl, spending over 100 on someone that you openly criticize every aspect of her life, including her Instagram stories, is insane. You hate her, and she benefits from and yeah, and she benefits from you. And of course, Gummy says, I benefit from her too. It's the media cycle of life. Meaning, of course, she monetizes her hatred of Meghan, her hypercritical comments day after day. And of course, well, because I guess the Royal Wales is trying to let her know if you give her too much attention, that's going to turn into popularity for her. Well, that may or may not be a thing, but one thing we know for sure is that that mouthful of gums got those little itty bitty teeth and those big giant gums. That person has done pretty okay for herself. And she's, I could never understand those people. I could not. I don't understand the well, I mean, I know that they do it, but I just that is so far removed from who I am. I mean, I make fun of the other royals, but I certainly don't hate them. I don't hate them. I wouldn't put them in some position where some maniac would go after them with lies about whether or not they were have given birth to a child or that kind of thing, or blaming them for what do you call it, elder abuse. Isn't that what they accused Harry and Meghan? They always and even the Daily Mail, they'll have another article where it implies that Harry and Meghan were abusive to Philip and the Queen, and they don't care what happens to Harry and Meghan. They don't care one way or the other. And she's every bit the sociopath herself, this person. Every bit the sociopath. Anyway, you guys, I am done. That was the last, this mouthful of gums and little teeth. That is the last slide. So thank you all very much. Um, as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And I will see you all next time. So good night, cookies and cream, Mary H. and Ivy of Sussex Global UK. Sherry Ware, TB, Heather Stroud, Elise, am I saying that right? Who else? Tula, Madison, Church Nelly, let me see, ANJ, Perlina Answers, happy birthday again to you too. Okay, and Sussex Riviera, Sussex Teen Warrior, Yasmin Page, Teddy Bungo, Casey, Patty Askew, Big Mama, Ingrid Sowers, and a host of friends and others. And good night, Legs. Good night. Legs, you were not very chatty tonight. What happened? You're just getting home? You're just getting off from work? What's going on? Maybe we'll have a members only this weekend. We'll have another one of those members onlys so we can cut up. So we can say the quiet parts out loud. Maybe that's what we all need. You guys know the singer Candy Stanton? She just turned 85. I saw a video of her birthday. She's like, yay, 85 and still alive. Candy Stanton was a disco singer. She sang that song, Young Heart, Run Free. Da 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 da. Yeah, that's the one. What's the use of sharing this long and lonely life, ending up just another lost and lonely wife? You think about the years and something in tears. Yeah, I love this song. Ooh, young heart, run free. I don't know what she was saying. I used to know the words. I ain't heard that song in ages, though. Candy Stanton. Wow, she looks good for 85. Wow, not to confuse her with Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Candy Stanton could refer to her musician Candy Staton, whatever that means. Yes, she's 85 years old. Oh my God, how many times has she been married? Joe Williams, Clarence Carter, Jimmy James, John Cecilwell, Otis Nixon, and Henry Harper. And she just married him in 2017. Good Lord. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 marriages. And no mention of children. 6 marriages. Oh, right here it says Candy Stanton has been married 6 times and has 5 children. I bet you do. Her first marriage to Pentecostal minister Joe Williams. Now, Clarence Carter, he's famous. Let me see who he is. Oh, he's a guitarist, singer, songwriter, musician, and record producer. Wow, and he's 89 years old. He's still alive. Ain't that something? Well, happy birthday, Candy. Candy. Why I call my sugar candy. I'm sweet on candy. And candy, he's sweet on me. He understands me. Let me see who sang that song. Candy. Why I call my sugar candy. Oh, well, I tell you, in between hit records, you got to survive somehow. 85-year-old disco queen. 85-year-old disco queen. What's the sense in sharing this long and lonely life? Ending up just another lost and lonely wife. Okay, I'm looking at the lyrics. You count up all the years, and all they will be filled with is tears. Love only breaks up to start over again. You have the babies, but you won't have your man. While he's busy loving every woman that he can. Who the hell wrote this song? Well, she's been married 6 times. She probably wrote it herself. I mean, these are some lyrics. Say that I'm gonna leave you 100 times a day. It's easier said than done. When you just can't break away, just can't break away. She up here working out all of her issues in this song. She working out all her trauma and pain with this song. I love that song though. Young heart, run free. Connie Balmer, we got to sort out your membership. I don't know what happened to it. I know I didn't see it yesterday. But okay, guys, it's late. It's late, late, late. And you know me, I'll be sitting up here talking for a whole another hour, and I'm not going to do that tonight. Really? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about it? Well, who was that that sang that song? You ready for a red light, party light, red light, dynamite. That's that. I think she was a pageant contestant and then she became an entertainer. And it wasn't Vanessa Williams. Gosh, what was her name? Was it Frida? Not Frida. Oh gosh, what was her name? Frida? No, not Frida. Yeah, Frida Payne. Frida Payne. I think that's her name, Frida Payne. I think you're ready for a red light, party light, red light, red light, Frida Payne. Yeah, that is her name, Frida Payne. Why did I doubt myself? Do 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 do. Why they don't write songs like that no more? That was her big disco song. Okay. Okay, I'm looking for the lyrics. Wow, Frida Payne is 82. Wow. 82 years old. Frida Payne. You've been ready to rock and ready to roll. Who do you think you are? Some kind of star. You know you're headed for a red light, party light, red light, dynamite, a red light. You're headed for a red light because I'm ready to rock and I'm ready to roll. Who do you think you are? Some kind of star. I think you're headed for a red light, party light. I'm telling you, disco was some good music, wasn't it? Hey, Vaughn, let me see. Tonight's episode of Royal Sussex is lit. Well, thank you so much for that. I'm enjoying myself. I always feel like I'm with family. Um, I'm looking for the lyrics, and it keeps giving me Billy Ocean. I don't want Billy Ocean. I think I'm gonna listen to some disco music tomorrow. Boo doo 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 doo. It always makes me feel young. You make me feel like dancing. I want to dance the night away. You make me feel like dancing. I want to dance the night away. Dancing, woo, dancing, oh, dance the night away. Yeah, I feel like dancing, dancing, dance the night away. Yeah, I want to put on my boogie boogie shoes. I want to put on my boogie shoes and boogie with you. Girl, to be with you is my favorite thing. Ba-da, ba-da. They were jamming. That's my jam now. Oh, Connie Bomber. Well, I'll see what I can do. I'll come up with something. Yeah, Donna Summer, I loved her voice too. I thought she had a really nice voice. 30 months. Exactly 30 months? Because what I can do is I can see everybody who has 30 months. And if I don't see you as part of that 30 months, that's a problem. Because you should be there. Got to be there. Be there in the morning to welcome into my world. To be there. Oh, wait, I'm looking in the wrong place. Okay, see all members. That sounds strange, doesn't it? See all members. That sounds like William in and when he went to that Poland, when he went to Poland, see all members. Maybe that's why William is going to Brazil because he heard about all of the members in Brazil. So that's why William is going to Brazil. He wants to see all the members. Member? That's why he's going to Brazil. He's not going for the ICE, that's for sure. Yeah, he's not going to try a bowl of ICE. I'm sure he has some very legitimate reasons for going to Brazil. None of which I can mention in mixed company, although I don't know that that's ever stopped me before. What is going on with this? Let me see here. Hmm. Yes, he wants to travel to exotic places. He's always up for that because, one thing about Willie is he's always curious about the pulled pork sandwiches. William's always keen to try a pulled pork sandwich wherever he goes. He's always keen to try a pulled pork sandwich. I mean, anybody who would travel all the way to Poland for a pulled pork sandwich, is there anything that he wouldn't do? Or anybody for that matter, but I digress. Mm, okay. Wow. Do you guys know that 51.3% of Royal Sussex audience is in the United States? 17.4% is in the United Kingdom, 6.5 in Canada, 2.4 in South Africa, and 2.1 in Australia. Interesting, huh? There's all kind of things, statistics. The average age, 40% of Royal Sussex viewers are 65 and older. 30% are between 55 and 64. And 16% is between 45 to 54. And there is 0% of 13 to 17-year-olds, 0.5% 18 to 24. That's disappointing. And 25 to 34, 3.6%. Huh. And nobody in Korea? Are you serious? But who's ever watching in Portugal and Brazil, thank you. Both of you. Okay, now I got sidetracked again as usual. What was I looking for? I was looking for the members, right? And then when I said members, that triggered me to start talking about William. And then once I started talking about William, then that triggered me to talk about something else. Pulled pork sandwiches, right? And then when I started talking about pulled pork sandwiches, somehow that triggered me to talk about what came after that. But you know what's funny? I thought I was going to scream that first time I heard Lady Sussex say something about a pulled pork sandwich. She said she don't know why she says it. But when I heard her say it, God, that was so funny. Yes, I was looking for members for 30 months for Connie Balmer. That's what I was doing. And then somehow I got sidetracked. Okay. All right, so I want to go here and then there. All right. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. Wow, there's a lot of people that's in the 30s here. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Tweedledee, 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 tweet, tweet. She rocks in the treetops all day long, huffing and a puffing and a singing a song. All the little birdies on Jaybird Street loves to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rocky Robin, Rocky Robin. Okay. You know what's weird is that when you're searching, the thing kind of jumps. But yeah, I'm not seeing Connie Balmer. That is a scandal. I don't want to be any place that Connie Balmer is not. So, oh yeah, by the way, good night, everybody. I am done. I'm just looking for something. So I don't want to keep you unnecessarily. Go Rocky Robin, cause you're really gonna rock tonight. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, I'm sorry, Connie Balmer, I don't see you, which is extraordinary. You should be here. Yeah. Hmm. Not good, not good. And I'm looking at people with 30 months. There's like one, two, three, four people that have 30 months. And I don't see Connie Balmer. And I want to get next to you. I want to get next to you. That was a good song, wasn't it? From the movie Car Wash. I want to get next to you. Yep, I'm looking, I'm concentrating, and I don't see you. Okay, I don't know how to fix that. Okay, what am I missing here? Oh, good night, Sherry Ware. Good night. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I had no idea. Okay. How can we fix this? There's got to be some way. Huh. Yeah, Connie Bomber, I do not see you here. I'm certain now that your membership does not appear here. I am certain. And I'm looking through the 30 months. I'm looking above the 30 months. Um, and I don't see you. I mean, I hate to say you're not and you are, but I don't see you. There are worse things I can do than go with a boy or two. Even though the neighborhood thinks I'm trashy and no good, I suppose it could be true, but there are worse things I could do. Remember that song from Greece, Rizzo? I liked Rizzo. I kind of felt like she was misunderstood. Rizzo just wanted to have a good time. That's all. All right, you all. I'm going to say goodnight before we've even creeped into 3 hours and then 4 hours. So, love you guys. I will see you all next time. And no bad energy. Yeah, no bad energy. Hmm. Oh, wait a minute. TB says once it is fixed, she will be restored to 30. Oh, oh, there's an explanation. Did I miss that? Uh, uh, oh, you said, wait. Oh, to sort out? Okay. Okay. Okay, Sherry Ware, it's gonna not Sherry Ware, what am I saying? Connie Bomber, it should work itself out. Let's hope so. But she's definitely not blocked because she's on here, so she couldn't be blocked. Okay, you all, someday we'll be together. Someday we'll be together. Oh, yes, we will. Yes, we will. You're far away from me, my love. And just as sure, sure, my baby, as there are stars above. Wanna say, someday, some sweet day, we'll be together. Oh, yes, we will. Yes, we will. Long time ago, my baby, I made a big mistake, honey. Said ah. All right, bye. Good night. Cheers. Ciao. Um, God save the content creators.